Sussman, city Scarsdale, New York, USA. The interview is in English, and this is tape 5. Elsa, please tell us more about what happened after the war.
Well, after the war, my mother decided to send my brother and I with a children's transport to England, because rumors were going around that we will have to go back where we were born, that we cannot stay in Prague, and we knew that that's going to be a bad place to be, and we didn't want to go back. So there were transports of children being taken care of by the Jewish Refugee Committee of London, of England, as well as the British government. They came from all over, from camps, after-war camps, and from places like just Prague. And so my brother and I ended up in the beginning of 1946, we ended up in London in a children's home in East London. We were 50 boys and 50 girls in that group, and they supported us, and they sent us to school, dressed us, fed us, clothed us, and tried to educate us, learn English. Until we were able to be independent, they paid for our upkeep, as well as we got pocket money every week. And I stayed there. Oh, and then after we were able to work, we got some knowledge of English. Some people went to work, some kids, and some went to school. So I went to school for a while, and then I needed a job. So I went and worked in a factory making handbags, and I hated every minute of it. And there was an organization, a club, a youth club, a Jewish youth club that we belonged to, that was very active, and we would help in the office there. I would type and things like that. And I had a friend who got a job in an office as a clerk. A clerk means, a gopher, let's put it this way. A clerk is British. Here a clerk is different. And she said, gee, you don't have to work in that factory if you hate it so much. Why don't you try to find a job like I did in an office? You make tea, and you run errands, and you type envelopes. Hey, anything is better than working in that factory and watching the clock. It was huge. And the man thought he was doing us a favor. He was a German Jewish man who came there before the war, and he gave us jobs. You know, he had regular workers, but he was being very generous. We didn't produce much. He paid us so that the committees didn't have to lay out so much money, because we were able to share the expenses. Well, I went looking for a job for 3 months. I couldn't find one. And there was an organization called the employment agency called the Sabbath Observant Agency. They found jobs for people who didn't want to work on the Sabbath. I said, gee, 5 days a week would be better than 6. Let me go and try. And they sent me to all kinds of places where I didn't want to go, cleaners and all that. Then finally they sent me to a place, it was an office, in a big office building, and I came in there, and out came a young British, stiff-collared guy, asked me my name, and asked me what I'm qualified to do, and I told him I help in the office at the club, and I am a refugee, and I'm from Czechoslovakia, and he says, and how much did you expect to get paid? So I gave him a figure, and he says, oh, that's an awful lot for someone who's not very qualified. I said, well, I'll take a little less if I have to. So he says, wait a minute. He went in, came out, he says, my father would like to see you. I walked into the office, and there sat a little Jewish man, beautiful white beard, with a yarmulke and arthritic hands, and he gets up and shakes hands with me. He says, what's your name? I said, Elsa Stern. And he says, how old are you? I said, 15. No, I was already 16, excuse me. More, 17. I was old already. He says, where were you? Shalom Aleichem, he said to me. Welcome. Where were you? So I told him. He sat me down, and he talked to me for hours. He says, you've got a job. You've got a job, and you're going to get this and this, and gave me a very high salary. And he took me under his wings. He sent me to school, to Pitmas College, to learn shorthand typing and bookkeeping, paid for it, and he said he would help me with my homework. And his wife adored me. They had 2 sons. They wanted to adopt me. I said, you can't adopt me because I have a mother. They used to invite me for the weekend. They were very orthodox. It was a big chemical import and export company, a multi-million-dollar business. And I was, within 1 year, I was his senior secretary. And I worked there for 5 years. And he cried when I left. And he visited me in Israel. So he was my guardian angel. And his son came to our wedding. It was really something. Anyhow, finally I was independent, sort of. I got a job. I had a friend who had a luncheonette on Petticoat Lane, which is like Orchard Street, in the East End of London. I was a waitress in a luncheonette on Sundays to make extra money. And my mother, in the meantime, my whole family from Czechoslovakia went to Israel just before it turned communist. The men volunteered to be in the Haganah, so they were taken to Germany for training, and they were allowed to leave Czechoslovakia with all their belongings before the borders were closed. So they had no choice, they went to Israel. And Mother came to visit to London, and she convinced me that I'd be better off, I'd have a better time if I came to Israel. She said, you're gonna love it. Come for a visit, if you don't like it, you can always go back. I was a British citizen already at that time. So I decided I'll go, and I packed a suitcase, went to Israel, and I never went back to London. I loved it so. My brother stayed in London, married a Jewish English girl, and he sent my rest of my belongings, which wasn't much, sent it to Israel, and that's where I was. And I got a job there. I was going to study Hebrew first, and then get a job, because English I knew. And then somebody came up to me after I was there 2 weeks and said to me, do you want a job? You don't need to know Hebrew. I said, great. So I got a job again for the chemical company, an American company. And my boss was from New York. And I got a very good job, and I was very happy. I had a good time. I was dating a lot. I was living with my 2 sisters who had a semi-detached house. Mother lived in the city in one room with a family, and we lived in the suburbs a little bit, outside of Tel Aviv. And I went out on dates every night. There was a shortage of women at that time in Israel. So I really had a good time, but my mother was very upset because I was too picky. I couldn't find a husband. I was too choosy, she said. She said, you're too fussy. Anyhow, I got a call one day from a friend of mine. She says, why don't you come to dinner Friday night? I'd like you to meet someone. A friend of my husband's is here from the States. And maybe you could show him around. I said, okay, and I went up there, and there was Melvin. They invited him, and they invited me, and that was it. After we had dinner, we went out, and we sat at a cafe, which had opened to all hours, till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and talked, and met again next day. He proposed to me. I almost flipped. I said, you must be kidding. And then I introduced him to my mother. My sisters never met him. He had to leave that Sunday. So he was there, here today, gone tomorrow. And he left. He came back, went to Europe on business, came back to the States, and we corresponded. And I came here in, that's another story. I was about to leave in November 1956 to come to the States. But the war broke out in Israel, the Sinai War, and all the planes were grounded, and my flight was grounded, and I couldn't get out. I was pulling some strings through my company. I got out on the last El Al flight with all the diplomats, flew to London, and came here. And we weren't supposed to get married right away. We were supposed to get to know each other better, etc., etc. I came November 8th. We got married December the 2nd. We had a wedding, 200 people. I only knew 12 people at that wedding. The rest was all Melvin's friends, relatives, distant relatives, and business associates. He was all established already by then. And before we got married, I went to work. I got here And the next day he gave me instructions how to go down to the business, to the factory. From uptown, I was on 79th Street in a hotel. And I went to work in the office right away and worked there. And we had a nice, beautiful wedding. My husband, my boss from London bumped into one of my ex-colleagues on Park Avenue, who married a stockbroker and lives on Park Avenue. And told her, I guess who's getting married on Sunday? Miss Stern. He says, I'm going to the wedding. And he came to the wedding, which was very nice. And we got married. His aunt sort of said, well, it's not really an aunt, said to him, what are you kids knocking yourself out for? Why don't you get married? And she went, that same evening, he went to find a place, and the invitations, the dress, the whole works, 1, 2, 3. And this was 1956, December 1956. And we moved to Queens, to an apartment, which was brand new. It was just put up, the building was just put up. And Melvin rented before we even got married. A 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I said, what do we need 2 bathrooms for? What do we need 2 bedrooms for? I was, I came from a small home. I mean, after the war, not before the war. So anyhow, it was a lovely apartment, and then we wanted children right away, but it didn't happen the way we wanted it. So finally, I conceived, and Gregory was born, and my mother came from Israel to stay with us, and she looks around and she says, this is no way to bring up a child. You don't even have a terrace. In Israel, all the apartments have terraces, and you just wheel the carriage out. You have to go down 6 flights, in the elevator, 6 flights to take him out and all that. You need a house. I didn't want a house. Melvin thought it was a great idea. I didn't want to move from Queens because all my friends were there. He didn't want to live on the island because it was too congested. So we ended up in Yonkers. And we stayed there for about 18 years? No, about 15 years. And we're here 15 years. And then we adopted Tina. Again, I wanted a child, and it just didn't happen. So after 5 years, we adopted her. And you wait and see, she's just the most wonderful human being alive. And the best thing we ever did was having Tina. And I worked all along. Then my husband moved the factory up to Westchester, to Tuckahoe. So when the kids were back in school, when the kids went to school, I was able to go to work till 3 o'clock. And then after they grew up and moved out, or they didn't need my supervision anymore, I went back to work full time, and I loved it. So that's the story. And then, of course, sold the business, and now we're sort of semi-retired.
Well, Elsa, I would like to ask you a question. If you have a message that you can leave for your family and for the rest of the world about your experience, what would you say? What would you want people to know?
That's a good question. What I would like them to know is the most important thing is to make sure that such terrible thing never happens again. And the way to do that is to teach the children when they are young, before their minds are already set on certain things. Teach them tolerance, acceptance of races and religions, and teach them to be aware of anything that's around them, to make sure to stop it before it escalates, before it becomes something very nasty. As for my family, I hope that their lives will be better than mine was. And that they never have to go through with what my parents had to go through with us. It's the only thing I can say. Be careful, watch out. For anti-Semitism, any intolerance is dangerous, because from a little thing it can flare to, as you can see, something horrendous.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, go ahead and introduce your family.
All right, this is our son, or my son, Gregory, and this is my daughter, Tina. 2 beautiful, beautiful people.
Would you like to say something to your mother?
Well, I'd like to acknowledge her for doing this. I think it's wonderful. You know, she's been resisting it for a while. She's had other opportunities in the past, and I think it's really wonderful that that you took this opportunity to do it. How was it for you?
Okay. It was okay.
That good, huh?
You know, I spoke and it brought back a lot of memories, and I cried a little, but it's okay. I'm
Sure, it's
fine.
okay.
I'm fine.
You survived.
Oh, gee.
Again.
That, anytime. I'll take it anytime. Tongue-tied.
Yeah. Camera shy. No, just that I couldn't have asked for a better life, better mother, better experiences and knowledge, and get educated every day by her.
Thank you.
And she's the best person I know. She's my best friend, and I'm proud of her.
Thanks.
Aww.
Thank you. And I agree.
Is there anything that is there anything that you think is important for us to mention now, or something that you think might in the future would be a good addition to this?
Just if you've had any experiences in talking to your mother that you would like to leave on camera for your children and your children's children, that's the purpose.
Okay, so can I say something?
Oh, yeah.
Just like for my children, you know, I don't know how much they're going to get to know about, you know, right directly from her. I don't know how much directly they're going to get from you. So, you know, I just want them to know that I'm going to do the best I can to relay whatever information I can, and I think this tape will also. And you know, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. Just stay around forever, and so we won't have anything to worry about.
Okay, but
And if not, I just want you guys to know that this is a person that is just an amazing woman.
thank
Hey,
you.
Tissue?
Thank you. Right there.
Oh, thanks.
And
And she's cute too.
for a 92
She has orange hair.
She's a cute little old lady with orange hair.
Please, don't tease me.
No, the one thing that I'd like to say to my kids who are going to be watching this is listen to your grandmother, even if she's not around, and make sure this never happens again, ever.
Okay.
Ever.
It's good.
Because I'll beat you myself. No, I'm kidding.
You want to yell at them a little bit before
At
we
who?
go? At your grandchildren on tape?
Oh, no, I would never yell at them. I let the do yelling. But grandparents are not supposed to yell at grandchildren. You leave that to the parents. Only with my
Why
own.
don't you give them a
only
little
with
message?
your grandchildren? A message?
Your grandchildren.
Behave yourself or else. What else can I say?
All right.
This is being very frivolous.
But this is
Anyhow, that's you, and I love every minute of it. And that's what makes life so lovely, having such lovely children. It's really something.
us. We're the lucky ones.
Okay.
No.
Enough with the schmoozing.
Admiration Society.
No.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
The man on the left is my grandfather, Jakob Kestenbaum. He was a lumber merchant and was killed in the gas chambers at the age of 83. And the man on the right is my uncle, my mother's brother, also Kestenbaum. He escaped the Holocaust by going to Israel in 1937. And this is the only picture that I have from before the war. And I treasure it. The children are fighting over it. Who is going to get it, make copies? This picture was taken soon after we got to Czechoslovakia in a garden in the house that we moved into, and that's my oldest brother is on the right, my oldest sister is in the middle, and that's me on the left. Ow. My brother's name is Zoli Stern, and my sister's name is Mansi or Miriam Rona, and my name is Elsa. And it was a good time we had there, really. A garden. Okay, this picture, that's my sister Mansi, Rona on the left, and I am at the age of 14 on the right after we got back to Czechoslovakia. And it was so great to be free and be home. There goes my picture. On the left is my brother-in-law, Eugene or Evgen Mali, my sister's, Alice's husband. And this is my sister, Alice, next, and my oldest sister, Mansi, or Miriam, and this is my mother, Esther Stern Shankar, and that's my brother in the back, my younger brother, and this is myself. And this is my oldest brother, Zoli. And this picture was taken soon after we came to Czechoslovakia. And my brothers came back home. We finally got together, all of us. Okay, this group is part of the group of children who were brought to England by the Jewish Refugee Committee and the English government. These are all orphans from my part of Czechoslovakia, which is below the Carpathian Mountains. And we got very close together. This is when our new life started in a new country, and we had fun. You can call it fun. Two of them are in Canada. A lot of them are here. A lot of them stayed in England. One is a professor of economics. They all did very well. That's me. Can't believe my curly, wavy hair, how long. That's me in the middle.
So,
Very. Maybe somebody will recognize somebody. She's here. That's Viola, she's here. Her husband is a dentist. He was with us too. She's in New Jersey, the one on the end. Edith. Zelmanovich, I forgot his first name. He's in the United States. This is Gina Weiss. She's in Canada. She was my best friend. One of the best friends. I had three. I don't remember her name. That's me. That's another Zelovich. He's here. Or Zalmanovich. Zelovich. He's in the United States. That's
okay.
This is my wonderful husband, Melvin, who made my life great. After all the misery, I had a wonderful life with him. And I hope to have one continue for many, many more years to come. He's great.
Melvin, would you like to say something to Elsa?
Thank you very much, Elsa. That was great what you just said. I just want to mention that when I met Elsa, I had no idea that she had gone through all these difficult times and during the war and concentration camps. In due time, while we were married, I found out that our background is almost the same, very similar. And I guess it's because of that and because the way she is a wonderful person that we have, that we are married now for 38 years and have 2 wonderful children, and we have a great life, and I'm glad that she made the tape today. And let's hope we continue
Many
another
more years.
many more years to come.
Amen, or Amen, or whatever.